What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa DisneyToons Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today we take a look at one film that technically is not part of the Walt Disney Animation Studios lineage, being produced by DisneyToons instead, and that is 1990's DuckTales the Movie, The Treasure of the Lost Lamp, featuring the voice talents of Alan Young, Russi Taylor, Terrence McGovern, Richard Cibertini, Christopher Lloyd, June Foray, and Rip Taylor. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I said during the intro, today's film is the only film this month that isn't a part of the actual Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography, the Snow White lineage. And I only did that because I didn't want to leave the year 1990 before the month ended. I figured doing this, along with Tomorrow's Rescuers Down Under, which is part of the Animation Studios filmography, it's a perfect way to wrap up before we ended the Walt Disney Animated Studios films for this year, and then picked up next year, started off with the classic Beauty and the Beast. I figured that was a great jump-off point, so that's why I included this one in the filmography. Let's get right into it, shall we? Our film opens as Scrooge McDuck travels to the Middle East, accompanied by Huey, Dewey, Louie, Webby, and Launchpad, in order to inspect a treasure chest that was recently discovered that belonged to the great thief Kali Baba. Although they are initially disappointed when it appears as if the chest only contains old clothing, Scrooge becomes excited when an ancient treasure map is found inside of the pocket of a robe. Guided by a petty thief named Dijon, the group sets out to find the lost treasure of Kali Baba, unaware that Dijon actually works for an evil sorcerer named Murloc, who himself is after something that Kali Baba once owned. The group ends up discovering a pyramid hidden in the desert as it has been covered in sand. Once they uncover the pyramid and enter it, they discover Kali Baba's treasure hidden within. As they collect the treasure, young Webby discovers an old oil lamp, which she asks her Uncle Scrooge if she can keep for her tea parties. Being as how Scrooge deems that it has very little value, he allows Webby to have it. After the crew pack up the treasure, Scrooge and his group are trapped in a room full of monstrous scorpions by Murloc and Dijon, who steal the treasure. However, Murloc learns that the one item he was searching for, the lamp, is missing. Murloc drags Dijon with him to try to locate it, but Scrooge and his friends manage to escape from the pyramid with nothing more than Webby's lamp, which she attempts to give back to him in order to make him feel better. And then they all return home to Duckburg. A few days later, Webby goes to clean her new lamp and ends up unearthing a genie. The genie, ecstatic about his freedom, grants Webby, Huey, Dewey, and Louie 3 wishes each. In order to trick Scrooge, the genie poses as a friend of the 3 boys from their junior woodchuck troupe named Gene. Their initial wishes include a baby elephant and a giant ice cream sundae, amongst other things. Afraid of a bird flying at night, Genie tells the kids about his former master, Murloc. How Murloc used his wishes for eternal life, along with the destruction of Atlantis and Pompeii, both of which were once popular vacation spots. Murloc also owns a magic talisman, which allows him to take various forms, along with allowing him to have unlimited wishes when he places it on the lamp. Kali Baba stole the lamp from Murloc and hid it away with his treasure, causing Murloc to spend centuries searching for it. The children suggest that they just wish for the talisman, but the genie informs them that it's the one wish he cannot grant. So the children vow to prevent Murloc from regaining the lamp, because the world will suffer if he has it in his power. The next day, Webby uses her last wish to bring all of her toys to life, which ends up forcing the children to reveal the genie's true identity to their Uncle Scrooge. For Scrooge's first wish, he wishes for the treasure of Kali Baba, and wanting to impress the Archaeological Society at their annual ball, decides to bring the lamp and the genie with him to the ball. Scrooge is followed, though, by Murloc and Dijon, who violently ambush Scrooge. During the ensuing struggle, Scrooge accidentally mistakes a gravy boat for the lamp and ends up leaving behind the real lamp and the genie, after which they both fall into the hands of Dijon, who decides to keep the genie and the lamp for himself instead of returning it to Murloc. Dijon wishes for Scrooge's fortune, which allows him to take control of Scrooge's money bin and have Scrooge arrested for trespassing. Scrooge is immediately bailed out, though, by his family and friends, who all agree to help Scrooge, setting things right. Scrooge, Webby, Huey, Dewey, and Louie all infiltrate the money bin in an attempt to regain control of the lamp, but they are stopped by Murloc, who himself recovers the lamp. With the genie back under his control, Murloc wishes for Dijon to be turned into a pig as a result of his disloyalty, and then for the money bin to become a fortress, which elevates high into the air over Duckburg. When Scrooge threatens Murloc, Murloc wishes him out of his house, and the genie reluctantly raises the wind in order to send Scrooge to the end of the fortress, hanging on for dear life. The nephews use a slingshot in order to knock the lamp out of Murloc's hands, which causes him to lose his power and fall to his death. Scrooge recovers the lamp and uses his second wish to return himself, his family, and his money bin back home to Duckburg. Back in the money bin, Scrooge declares that he has had enough of all this wishing and threatens to use his final wish to bury the lamp where it would never be found again. The genie and the children protest, so instead, Scrooge uses his final wish for the genie to become a real boy. Without the genie, the lamp disintegrates and crumbles into dust, thus removing its magic forever. As the children play with their new friend, Scrooge discovers Dijon, who has recovered from Murloc's wish, stuffing his trousers with Scrooge's money. And our film comes to its conclusion as Scrooge chases Dijon down the street while yelling, "Somebody stop those pants," as the DuckTales theme song plays. Honestly, I don't know why Walt Disney Animation Studios didn't officially do this one themselves. I definitely feel like DuckTales the movie should be considered as part of the lineage, which is another reason why I decided to cover it here as part of this, filmography that I'm going through. I adore DuckTales the movie. Alan Young is perfect as Scrooge McDuck. He's done the voice for years at this point, within the DuckTales series, A Christmas Carol, Mickey's Christmas Carol, and even some shorts that had come out in the 70s. Alan Young is great as Scrooge. Russi Taylor, though, definitely the MVP, as she does Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. And Russi Taylor is probably best known as the voice of Minnie Mouse. But here she is. She does Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby in this film. Christopher Lloyd as the evil, dastardly Murloc. Amazing. Hot off the heels of his villainous role as Judge Doom. Hitting into his, for at least the first half to 3/4 of the film, villainous role as Uncle Fester in the Addams Family. Great, great time to be a Christopher Lloyd fan, as he's doing Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future Part 3, Roger Rabbit, DuckTales the Movie, and the Addams Family, all around the same time. All those movies coming out in about the same 3-year span. Great time to be a Christopher Lloyd fan. When it comes to my rating on this film, I give DuckTales the Movie 4 out of 5 stars. Essentially, it's very much a blueprint for Aladdin, which we'll get to next year. Kali Baba, Aladdin, the lamp, the genie, wishing for him to be free, a real boy. It's all very much the blueprint for what would become Aladdin, and maybe that's part of why it wasn't officially released by the Walt Disney Animation Studios, but I digress. I do feel, though, that with the success of this film, there was a huge missed opportunity for DisneyToons to make more films based on the Disney afternoon. We got DuckTales the Movie, and then in 1995 we'd get a Goofy movie, which was essentially a Goof Troop film. But there was never a film for Rescue Rangers, which, with their crime solving, very much could have been in the vein of The Great Mouse Detective, except it would be Chip and Dale, Monterey Jack, Gadget, Zipper, and probably a new, bigger villain than Fat Cat. There was no Tailspin movie. Instead, we got The Jungle Book 2 in the 90s, which, granted, I've never seen it, but for most people, it's questionable. But there could have been a Tailspin movie instead, following the adventures of Baloo, Kid Cloudkicker, Rebecca and Molly Cunningham, Wildcat, Don Carnage. And the biggest missed opportunity, in my opinion, is there was no Darkwing Duck cartoon. Okay, you got to think, man, the 90s with Batman Returns, Batman Forever. We won't talk about Batman and Robin. The original Batman in 89. The early 90s there were prime pickings for a Darkwing Duck movie. But they didn't do one. Huge missed opportunity, in my opinion. Huge loss of money. I do feel like they could probably still get away with a Darkwing Duck film today, since they've resurrected DuckTales, which I'm not a fan of the resurrected DuckTales. Let's just get that out there right now. But Darkwing Duck is a minor character within the revamped, rebooted DuckTales. There's still an opportunity to do it. They just need to pull the trigger. Darkwing Duck, the movie, I still think would make huge bank, especially for people my age that grew up with the original incarnation of him. What do you guys think? Should there have been movies for Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, and Darkwing Duck? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave them over here. If you're watching on demand, leave your thoughts down here. But whatever you do, when you get out there on social media, let's try to get those hashtags trending for me. Hashtag Casa DisneyToons Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course, the ever popular hashtag shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa DisneyToons Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag Statboy Approved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you guys get out there. Do what that commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the official merchandise of the Casa DisneyToons Studios Brotherhood. Get your Renegade J.J. Williams shirt, Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, Statboy Sports Bar, hashtag Statboy Approved, hashtag Shenanigans. Get your official merchandise for the Jeff Meacham Network. 3 different designs of the Jeff Meacham Network logo for you to choose from, along with Talk Wrestling, Meachamania, and more. Hey, it's summertime now. It's been triple digits out here where I live. I don't know about where you guys stay, but it's summer. Like I said, you're going to be going to the pool parties. You're going to be going to the beach. Go to that Teespring, score you a tank top. You've got Meachamania and the Renegade J.J. Williams to choose from in tank top form. Get out there, show some love, and support. While you guys are supporting, do what that ticker says. Do you appreciate my daily content? Do you appreciate the fact that I'm out here in triple-digit heat in my garage studio, bringing out brand new videos for you guys on a daily basis? Show me that love. Go to the PayPal link scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Send me a couple bucks as a donation. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not monetized right now. So the only way I can bring in any cash is if you guys out there go to the PayPal right over here and send me a buck or two. You don't want to send me money? Cool. Go to the link tree, click on the link for my Amazon movie wish list, select a movie off of the wish list. I'm constantly updating it. When it comes in the mail and I open it on Renegade Recap, I'll give you guys a shout out. And then when I factor it into a month and a theme that I can review it in, I'll give you guys another shout out. And I'll show you guys the same amount of love that you guys show me. So get out there and show your support. Tomorrow, right back here on the Casa DisneyToons Studios channel, when we bring you yet another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, make sure you tune in as we bring the Walt Disney Animation Studios month to a close with 1990's The Rescuers Down Under. Bob Newhart and Ava Gabor return as Bernard and Miss Bianca, respectively, in Ava Gabor's final film role before she passed a couple years later. John Candy joins the cast, along with some others. So you're not going to want to miss out tomorrow, right here on Renegades Reviews, as we go down under with the Rescuers to wrap up the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography. All my loyal viewers out there watching on the premiere, leaving your comments over here, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate you guys. All my loyal viewers, tune in later in the day, watch on demand, leaving your comments down here. Thank you very much once again. I greatly appreciate you guys. I appreciate each and every one of my loyal viewers. You guys know that. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.